So I put the word out on my stories this week. What did you want this episode, today's episode, to be about? And the overwhelming response was what to do when the damn scale goes up and you get a number that you don't like, because it's horrific. It really does. Like, you can be mentally scarred from this sort of thing. So this is what we're talking about today. And I have, let me have a look, 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 points that I'm going to be sharing with you. And as I do, I really want you to sort of, if you're driving, don't close your eyes, but take a second to breathe it in, because we have been conditioned really that the scale is the, I'm going to say only way to measure our progress in weight loss, but certainly the best way. I will happily dispute that with anybody who wants to go head to head, because I gave up the scale years ago, and what I have swapped it out with, in preference of the bathroom scale, I use a measuring tape. And here's why. This is my logic behind it. And by all means, you're free to, I would love to hear from you if you think that this is better, worse, or the same. Because the scale is not going to give you any accurate feedback on exactly how you're progressing week to week, or even day to day, especially day to day. But a measuring tape will. If your measuring tape is shrinking, then you are shrinking. If your weight is going up, down, sideways, it's not necessarily going to reflect in the size of your body. That's not necessarily a thing. So as we move into today's episode, I'm going to start with the first thing that we fear. And I had a private client we probably worked together for about a year. And she was terrified of the bathroom scale, absolutely fucking terrified. Couldn't bring herself, if she had overeaten, she couldn't bring herself to get on the scale, potentially for weeks, because she had given it that much power. Now, we worked through this, and it's like, seriously, it's not the boogie monster, it's not Satan, it literally cannot do anything. So now we have to think, then what is the problem? What is the roadblock? And the problem is always going to be our thoughts. So with that, I'm going to start with my first point, which is to stop making the number mean something about you. Let's be real and let's be really fucking honest. You don't care what the number is. You only care because you've decided that the number says something about you and or means something for you and your potential as a human being. I'm going to say this one more time. I'm going to say this because I've said it for years. The scale is nothing more than a physical representation of your gravitational pull to planet Earth in that particular microsecond. And I say this with such passion because when I was obsessed with the bathroom scale, probably about 30 years ago, I would weigh myself multiple times a day. So not just every day, multiple times a day. And I was so scared to eat. What if I get a bad number? And all of this was going on. And here's what I did learn by weighing myself multiple times a day was that the number fucking changes every single time you get on. So I could start the day with a particular number and it might go up or down throughout the day. So now which number do you want to choose? Which one is real? This is what I mean. Your power is always going to be in who you choose to be as a result of seeing the number. The power is in who you are being, not in a number. The number doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't mean anything for you. Like, oh, my number's gone down. I must be going to succeed at life, or I must be getting more attractive, or there are thoughts that race through our minds, because let me tell you this is 100% true. Tell me, listen, I know that you've all felt this as well. Immediately followed by a number going down is this like gut-wrenching fear, but what if it goes up again when I weigh tomorrow or next week? What if it goes up, and what if I fuck this up and I can't hold on to this? What if it goes away is the underlying message of the thought. What if this all goes away? What if this isn't really real? Again, I say to you, your power, that's when you have to remind yourself, your power is in who you are being, not in a number on the scale. If you are being the woman who, despite what the number says, shows up for herself every day, does her movement in a way that she feels good about, makes food choices that you feel fucking good about, that's where your power lies. If the scale doesn't reflect that temporarily, because it is temporary, if the scale doesn't reflect the actions that you're taking, then you can know that it's only a temporary blip. It has to be. You can't do the right thing and get a wrong result. That's not a fucking thing. I assure you that is not a thing. You cannot put in the work and not get the result of that work. It's exactly like sitting back on the couch eating Cheetos and thinking that you're going to get a good result from that. But that's also not a thing. You're going to get the result of the exact input that you are giving. So if you get a number that you don't like, here is what you're going to do. Honeys, if the cause of the problem is your thoughts, it doesn't take rocket science to figure out where the solution lies. It's not in food. It's not in binging because you don't like the number, so I'll just go fucking stuff my face and I'll start again tomorrow. If the problem is how you're thinking about the number that you see on the scale, then the solution has to be there too. The solution and the problem are always in the same place. I really feel like I should switch those around. The problem and the solution are always found in the same place. That is why an internal problem cannot be solved externally. That's why your shitty thinking about my body shouldn't look like this, all the thoughts that we have about ourselves cannot be solved with a diet. Listen, again, I say to you, listen. As I swear I should have been a school teacher. My brother was like a deputy principal, and he's still in the education system. And that was his perfect position because he's just bossy like that. So this is what I say to you. If your problem is, I feel unworthy, I don't feel pretty, I feel not good enough, then you can lose all the weight in the world. But unless you work on those particular thoughts, nothing will change. You'll just be a skinnier version of the woman who still doesn't feel attractive, doesn't feel good enough, just doesn't think like she's enough. So here's the next thing to think about. If you are waiting for that negative voice in your head to just skedaddle off into the sunset and vanish so you can have the time and the space and the ease of thinking positive thoughts, again, not a thing. Your brain will put 90% of your life into its habit center. It makes sense because you can't stop and think every 2 seconds about what it is that you have to do and that you're trying to do. And I need to take a spoon out of the kitchen drawer. How do I do that? Oh, I need to pull this drawer with this handle. I place my right hand into the drawer. I select the spoon. It's on autopilot. And it's on autopilot for a reason. You would go crazy if you had to stop and think, really put intense thought into every action that you're taking. That's why new habits are so hard to learn, and the old fucking ones that you want to get rid of are so hard to get rid of because they've weaseled their way into your habit center and they don't want to leave. So if we know that your brain puts at least 90% of your life into its habit center, probably more if it could, then you cannot be thinking about every tiny move that you make. All this means is that right now you have a habit of freaking out over the number. But remember, habits can be changed when you become aware that what you are doing is a habit and it's not serving you. Here's how I like to think about it. If I actually drew a little flowchart for myself, and if I could show you, I would. However, I can't, so let me describe this to you. Imagine on a blank piece of paper, at the top of it, you write the word habit. This is your habit. This is where the habit is currently living. Now, underneath that, you would have two separate arrows flowing in two very fucking different directions. One of the arrows leads into awareness and the other arrow leads into oblivion. You're completely unaware. The arrow that is where your awareness lies then leads to change and progress. The arrow that wanders off into the sunset on the other side, where you are unaware, leads to you repeating the same shit and staying stuck. Which side do you want to be living on? I mean, it doesn't take much to figure it out. We all have habits that we don't like because they're just, like I say, they've just weaseled their way into our habit center and we don't even think about them. But so, okay, the next question then would be, well, Kylie, if I don't even think about it, how am I going to change it? You will know the habits. It's so fucking easy to identify the habits that you want to change, because here's a prime example. You get on the damn scale and you feel like complete shit when you get a number that you don't like. Now you can see, oh, wow, I must have a habit that is not serving me, because all I'm looking at is an inanimate object. I'm seeing a number, a random fucking number. If I just shout out the number 17 to you, do you have an emotional fucking meltdown? If I shout out 602, are you going to lose your shit and run to the refrigerator? No. Numbers don't mean anything in and of themselves. It's the meaning that you're giving to that number. If you currently weigh 75 kilos and now you get on there and you see 76, you're having a negative conversation in your head. Now you can be very sure that you currently have a habit, and you're aware. You are now aware that you have a habit that doesn't serve you, which leads into the opportunity for change and progression. Now, how we do this is a simple 3-step procedure. I want to say it's a 3-step system. You have to start by anticipating the voice. And you hear me talk about the voice all the time. I talk about the voice in my free course. I talk about the voice in every teaching that I do. The voice, quote unquote, is that negative bullshit voice that is all up in your grill every day. Don't do that. Don't wear that. You look stupid. Oh my God, look what you just said. You're such a dum-dum. You tripped over. Oh my God, everybody's looking at you. The voice is the conversation that goes on in our head when we are convinced that people are looking at us, we're doing something stupid, or you eat something, oh my God, you're never going to lose weight. That's the voice. You have to anticipate that shit up front. Don't wait for it to swoop down on you like an eagle and grab your little brain out with its talons. It flies off. It flies off with our brain and our senses, and we wonder why we can't think straight anymore and we see this hideous number on the bathroom scale. You have to anticipate this is going to happen and decide up front what you want your response to be. And one that I absolutely love, and I've just started using this, I'm going to use this all the fucking time, is if when I see a number that I don't like, a result that I don't like, I tell myself, this changes nothing. You are currently building a relationship with yourself and your body. Whatever the number is, changes nothing. I am still determined to be the woman who stays in integrity and eats the things that she's committed to eating that day. I am still the woman who uses the 5 eating codes, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, then there's definitely a podcast episode on it, which I cannot remember the number and I need to write that down. But get my free course, people. Just get the free course. It's all in there and it's in depth. How I use the 5 eating codes to lose 20 kilos. So that's at kyliepax.com/free course. But I don't want to digress. You have to be determined at this point to stay in alignment with your goals and your vision for yourself, regardless of what the voice is saying. Because like I said, the number is completely irrelevant at this point. The number doesn't matter. The number is the cause of the event, but now the event is the voice in your head. That's what you need to deal with. Changing the number is not something that's possible in this moment. So the second point then, after you anticipate that the voice is going to pull this bullshit on you, because it will, is to jump on the scale. You do your thing. You get on the scale and you weigh and you listen. Not wait and listen. You weigh yourself and you listen to the conversations in your head that are coming up. What are the thoughts that are coming up? And then respond with what you know to be true. So as I just mentioned, well, that's fine. The scale, let's say the scale has gone up 2 kilos or 4 pounds. And you can say, this changes nothing. I will log this in whatever way that you are tracking your progress. That's fine. I will log this and I will think back over my past week. What did I do or not do that could have caused this result? That's fine. We don't want to be, like play dumb and just be oblivious to the decisions that we might have made over the past week that could have led to this particular change in our weight. And also, whether you pigged out the night before, you binge, you whatever, or you were perfect and nothing changed in your week and you had perfect days every day, please. If that's you, I just don't know, you can't even be true or real. I don't know who has perfect eating days every day. But no matter what, you can now weigh yourself, listen for the thoughts, and then respond with what you know to be true. Tell yourself once again, this changes nothing. I am still a woman of integrity. I will look back over my choices and behaviors and decisions this week, and I will see what areas can be improved. And also, this changes nothing. I'm still moving forward with my dreams, my goals, my visions, and staying in alignment with who I am determined to be. Because the third point then is to walk your damn talk. You can talk a big game till the cows come wandering home, but it's not going to change anything or do a damn thing if you don't take action on what you're saying. If you tell yourself it's all right and rev yourself up, it's give yourself a little pep squad, it's going to be fine and I'm fantastic and gee, I'm good, and all the positive self-talk in the world means nothing if you are not backing it up with some action. I will tell you this. I had a mentor many years ago. He started a children's charity for Indigenous children, and I was quite heavily involved. I was like helping him, just volunteering and doing, chores, whatever he needed done, helping collect toys and donations and things like that. And he said something to me one time that has stuck with me, sort of like 10 years later, it stuck with me. And we were discussing a proposal or something that was going on, and I was uncertain of what the price range would be or how much this should be delivered for. And he looked me dead in the eye across the table at a cafe. I'll remember it forever. And he looked at me and he said, Kylie, back yourself. And I thought, oh my God, I think those two words just changed my life. You have to do the same thing. Back yourself. When you tell yourself, this is who I'm determined to be, and this is what it's going to take to be that person, you better start walking your talk, honey. Otherwise, it is just, you are just gobbling up oxygen from planet Earth and it's a waste of space. So the 3-step system that I use to do that is I ask myself all the fucking time, who do I want to be? How do I want to live? And what do I need to do now to make that happen? You've probably heard me talk about this before. I've probably done entire podcasts on it. Who do I want to be? How do I want to live, and what needs to happen now to make that happen? So when you start with who do I want to be, I want to be a woman who's happy. I want to be a woman who's energetic. I want to be a woman who's high vibe. How do you want to live? Because let's say one of your things is who do I want to be? I want to be skinny. I want to be thin. I want to lose 20 kilos. I want to lose 50 kilos. Fan-fucking-tastic. The second part of that question though is how do you want to live? Because do you want to do some, fasting diet like I did like many years ago, didn't eat I've told you, we've spoken about this many times, did not eat for 40 days. But how do you want to live? If you want to lose 20, 30, 40, 50 kilos and you want to get that off your body, that's great. Set the goal. Who do you want to be? That's the person I want to be. But how do you want to live? Do you want to fucking get there and then not be able to eat afterwards because you got there through a dumb ass method? No. How do you want to live? I want to live with abundance. I want to live joyful. I want to live fulfilled. I want to live not fucking afraid of food. I want to live a life where I'm excited to go out to functions, not scared because I don't know what they're going to have there and is it going to mess up my perfect eating plan. And then the third component, what do you need to do now to make that happen? If you're standing on the scale and you're not loving what you see, then the next question has to be, what do I need to do now in order to move forward effectively and with some excitement in your life for where you are going? Remember, the number on the scale changes nothing. And I will also put this in there. If you get a number that's gone down, fucking changes nothing. You still get to move forward, walk your talk, and continue. You don't get to go out and eat and fucking celebrate. Oh, now I lost some weight. I lost 2 kilos. I'm going to go and eat. What the fuck? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. No, in every scenario, you get up, get off the scale, get up and walk your damn talk. Who you're going to be, how do you want to live, and now what do you need to do to make that shit happen? Again, I want to thank you so much for joining me this week. It's been an honor. I love spending this time with you every week. It's like insane how much I enjoy it. So please remember always, if you haven't done so yet, skip on over kyliepax.com/free course. It's coming out this week, bitches. This week. It's happening. We're just having some time. It would have been happening already because it's Wednesday in my little corner of the world, but there's a little tech glitch as always. And there was a time when I would have had a meltdown and eaten over this sort of thing. Now I'm just like, whatever. If it doesn't happen for 4 more days, it doesn't happen. We're doing our best. And this is the thing, like, don't let these stressful situations that life throws at us, it's not a reason to bury yourself under a chocolate. Like, it just isn't going to change the core of your discomfort. Because, and let's clarify, the core currently of my discomfort, if we wanted to look at with the tech glitch, is not even the tech glitch. The core of the discomfort would be the way I'm thinking about the tech glitch. It's always smart to run what's going on through your think, feel, act cycle. How am I thinking about this? Which is causing a particular type of feeling, which then leads on to me taking a certain action. Always have a look deeper, my darlings. The answer is always going to be there. Please remember, as always, I say this to you every week, the only person who has the power to change your life is you. I say it because it's true. Oh, that rhymes. The only person who has the power to change your life is you. When you step up and start preparing, I say that all the time, start preparing how you intend to think about the scale before you even get on there. Think about what you want your response to be. Understand that it changes nothing, no matter whether the number's gone up or down, and then walk your damn talk. That is when you are assured of getting the result that you want, no matter how long it's going to take. Time is not the issue. You staying in integrity and aligned with the woman you intend to be, that's always going to be the issue. And that, when you do that, that's when you've got what it takes. I'm sending you tremendous amounts of love. I will see you all again next week. Until then, gorgeous ones, bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to shimmy your butt over to kyliepax.com/free course and sign up for my free weight loss training so you can start losing your weight now. You'll also find helpful notes and resources in my past podcasts that will help you lose your weight without the BS diet drama. I'll see you next week.